The DJ was keeping the night alive when something dreadful occurred.
This is genuinely scary.
Screams of terror echoed, coming from a woman off camera, crying out in fear. Hearing these screams late at night is deeply unsettling, causing even people nearby to feel unsafe and hastily depart. This chilling video was captured on a Ring camera in Henderson, Nevada. It's truly frightening. If anyone knows who this couple is, please get in touch with the Henderson, Nevada Police Department right away. We hope she's found safe. Meet Rashad Hawkins. He's at the Meigs County Courthouse in Tennessee, and he's in trouble for not paying child support, which could land him in jail. In this worrying video, you can see what happened. The deputies attempted to apprehend him, but he managed to escape the courtroom, and it's all caught on the security camera. He leaped over the railing and hung on for a moment before letting go. The deputy didn't follow him. You can see his legs hanging from above, and there's no one around. Quickly, he got up and dashed toward the exit. People from lower floors heard the commotion and came to see what was happening, but he had already disappeared. For nearly 3 weeks, he remained on the run, evading capture. Eventually, he was caught more than 200 miles away. In addition to the initial Tennessee warrant, he now faces new charges, such as criminal trespassing, assault on a police officer, and resisting arrest. Hawkins' escape didn't end well for him, and only led to more trouble. The most frightening moments caught on camera. This heart-pounding video, filmed on January 12, 2021, shows a group of people in big trouble when a huge iceberg suddenly falls apart. When the iceberg broke, it created a scary wave that was more than 30 feet tall. The people in the boat did their best to escape as quickly as possible because this enormous wave was chasing them. Fortunately, they managed to get away safely just in time. That wave could have easily destroyed them. On August 19, 1987, something really scary happened during the 4:00 p.m. news on KNBC Channel 4. There was a reporter named David Horowitz, and while he was talking on TV, a strange man suddenly walked into the studio. This man had some papers in his hand, and he made David read them, like he had no choice.
Folks, we have someone on the set who's sitting here and would like me to read this copy, which was just handed to me. You want to tell me your name? What is it? And Gary, where are you from?
The TV show was stopped, and the screen went blank. Lots of people were watching this live, and they started calling the police because they were worried. The people in the studio saw that they were no longer on TV, but they tried to tell the man that they were still live. He believed them, and he made David keep reading.
I was warned in 1981 by someone with connections at the CIA to stay off the computers, that they didn't trust people on computers. When I began receiving disturbing calls from my parents, which led me to believe that something terrible was going on, I was then forced into a mental hospital in Tallahassee, where I learned that my brother-in-law had been driven insane in the same manner that someone was trying to do.
After a few minutes, David finally finished reading what was on the paper. At that point, the man put down his weapon, and it turned out that it was just a toy gun. The police came into the studio and arrested the man. His name was Gary Stallman. He got into the studio because he knew someone who worked there, and his dad, Max Stallman, used to be a reporter for KMBC. It turned out that the papers Gary wanted David to read were full of crazy ideas about the CIA, aliens, and other conspiracy stuff. One part of it said something like this: "The man who has appeared on CNBC for the past 3 years is not my biological father. He is a clone, a double agent created by the Central Intelligence Agency and alien forces. It is only a small part of a greater plot to overthrow the United States government and possibly the human race itself." It was all very worrying and strange. Gary had to go to a county jail while he waited for his trial. They found out he had some mental problems, and they decided to get him the help he really needed. His dad, Max, talked about what happened and said, "I have a son who's not well. He's been in the hospital a few times. I'm just relieved nothing worse happened. It was all very worrying." This is the home security camera footage of the Kristalik family. The camera is sitting on the kitchen counter, and in the background, the youngest daughter is on the couch, watching TV. Suddenly, a voice starts speaking through the camera speaker.
What you watching? Hey, what show is that? I've seen that show before. What season, y'all? Hello?
The girl either doesn't hear the voice or chooses not to respond. That's when the dad, Adam, walks into the room, not realizing he's being watched. The voice keeps talking, and Adam's head turns towards the TV, thinking it's coming from there. But when he realizes it's not, he takes out his phone. It dawns on him that the Ring camera might be compromised.
Hello? What are you eating? You hungry? What? Powering off. Hello. This is Ring. Who is it? Who is it?
The voice tries to imitate some kind of robotic text-to-speech voice, but Adam is certain his account has been hacked. He disables the camera and reaches out to Ring about the unsettling incident. The company responds, explaining that an unidentified phone had logged into his Ring account. They attempted to trace it back to its source, but were unsuccessful. They essentially told him there was little they could do except advise him to change his password and set up two-factor authentication for his account. The situation left the family feeling deeply concerned. This next video was recorded by a security guard who was watching the security cameras inside a factory. Something really strange caught his attention. Inside the factory, there was a welder working alone, but something about him seemed off. The security guard took a closer look at the footage and immediately started feeling uneasy after watching what happened. He quickly called over the welder to watch the video and explain what was going on in it. But just like the security guard, the welder was left completely puzzled. He had no idea what was captured on the video. This incident occurred during the night shift, which makes it even creepier. Nobody else was working at the factory except for the welder. However, according to him, another welder who had the day off came to visit him. They talked for a bit before the security guard called the welder over to watch the footage. But after seeing the video, the welder was left speechless. Here's what was captured on the video. It turns out that the other welder who had dropped by to say hello wasn't actually there. The welder on camera swears that he saw the other worker in full uniform, as if he was ready to work. They even shook hands, according to him. But when they looked at the footage, no one appeared to be there. As strange as this is, the story takes an even stranger turn when they learned what happened to the worker who supposedly had the day off. Shockingly, the factory received news that this worker had passed away in his own home. The cause of death remains unknown, but the fact that he died on the same day this incident occurred has left the welder feeling spooked. Could it be that the spirit of the deceased worker visited his friend during the shift? Or is there another explanation for this whole incident? Like many videos, there is still no definitive answer to this question. A couple in Georgia decided to set up a home security camera in their bedroom to keep an eye on their dog while they were at work. Everything seemed fine until one night, shortly after the woman had put the dog in his crate for the night. She heard a cough coming through the camera speaker. As she lay in bed, she glanced at the camera and noticed the blue light turning on, signaling that someone was watching the live feed. Frightened, she called her boyfriend, who was at work, and asked him why he had the camera feed open. Seconds later, she received a text back from him, asking what she was talking about. Just then, a voice started speaking through the camera speaker.
Wait, no. Hello? Excuse me. I can't see this bed. Come on, look at this. Oh.
Terrified by this intrusion, she quickly removed the batteries from the camera. The couple later discovered that someone had hacked into their Ring account at least 4 times. They reported the incident to the police, but unfortunately, nothing ever came of it. The unsettling experience left them deeply worried about their privacy and security. The next video is quite concerning. It shows a person alone in a gym when something truly terrifying occurs. Emily Louise, who shared this video, words cannot explain this disturbing footage. The person in the video had obtained this recording from the gym and sent it to a friend who we hear speaking in the video. Here's what they recorded.
Es que pasaron cosas muy extrañas, la madre, hasta una máquina se movió. Vea, mira, explíqueme eso, vea, 2 cuerdas y... ¿Qué vas a ver, mami? La otra quieta, o sea, no podemos decir que es el aire, ni que hay ventilación, ni nada de esas vainas. Y en plena luz del día, ¿quién dice que estas maricadas pasan en plena luz del día? No. Mire, la luz. Mire. Mire, ahí. Mira eso. Mira eso.
Uy, ¿eso qué pasó? ¿Por qué eso se mueve?
Esa vaina es pesadísima, eso es pesadísimo.
Sí.
Sí, parece que eso es una energía muy mala.
Ay, Dios mío, ¿qué le pasó?
Mamá, mire.
No, Dios, no, eso no es normal.
Sí,
eso no es normal, no.
People who watched this footage were deeply disturbed by this chilling encounter. At the beginning of the video, you can see someone or something peeking at this person. This is a detail you might have missed. It's important to note that another camera recorded this from a different angle, and we can see that the gym has open windows. It's possible that the wind from outside caused the ropes to move on their own. However, if that were the case, other things in the room should have moved too, especially the towel on the box, which seems light enough to be moved slightly by the wind. But it remains still. The wind could also explain the ball's movement, but this is a medicine ball, quite heavy. It would take more than just a breeze to move something that weighty. What's even more puzzling about this footage is how the person gets dragged across the floor. It could be argued that they were doing this themselves, moving their body in a way that makes it appear as though they were being dragged. However, a closer look shows that they were pulled forcefully, which is nearly impossible to do alone. Other aspects of the video raise questions too, like the lights turning off on their own and this unexplained phenomenon. I'll leave it to you to draw your own conclusions from this footage. Please share your thoughts. I'm eager to hear what you think. On August 23, 2023, George Cruz and his wife had just finished making dinner and were heading to the living room to enjoy their meal. The couple sat closely together, watching their favorite TV show. At first, everything seemed normal in the footage, but just a few seconds later, something happened that frightened them deeply. Prior to this incident, George and his wife had been experiencing strange things inside their house. They would often wake up in the middle of the night and hear faint whispers from somewhere in the house. But the creepiest part was when they saw household items moving on their own. Over time, the activity had become so intense that they sought help from paranormal experts. They were advised to set up cameras in their home to capture evidence of these so-called paranormal occurrences. They followed this advice, but they were also told to get rid of a particular item in their house, an old rocking chair, which was believed to be the source of the activity. So the couple sold the chair to a buyer who was interested. However, in the meantime, something very strange was captured on their cameras when no one was home. Spookily, the chair began rocking back and forth on its own, followed by other objects moving inside the house. Although they were terrified by what they saw, the couple was relieved because they now had proof to show those who doubted their claims. But this wasn't the only incident they captured on camera. Shortly after this, more strange activity was recorded. Take a look at this footage. Just before an object fell, the camera panned over to the shelf, as if it sensed movement in that area. What's peculiar is that it sensed it before the DVD case fell on its own. Some might suggest the camera picked up movement from the TV, but if that were the case, the camera would have moved earlier. Since things were moving on the TV screen before the camera panned, it seems like this was a random occurrence, unless it was sensing something else. The couple continued to document these bizarre events in the hope that someone could explain what was happening. Their ultimate goal was to stop the activity, but until then, it seemed they would keep sharing more footage of this unusual situation that left them deeply worried. In this video, a mother and her 2 children are standing outside their house, visibly alarmed by something they just witnessed. They had returned from a walk when they noticed something unsettling happening at a second-floor window. The family decided to record it just in case no one would believe their story. Using a flashlight they brought on their evening walk, they shine it on the window, revealing something strange.
Alright, my daughter's room is up there. We keep seeing something. Alright, put your flashlight up. Alright, flash it up there. Oh, now it's gone. Put your flashlight down. Let's see if it'll do it again. Alright, put it up. Hurry. Oh.
The blinds seem to move on their own when the light isn't on the window. If you look closely, there are no visible fingers or figures behind the shades. It looks empty, as if no one is there. The children are clearly spooked by this, but the mother appears relatively calm in the video. It could be that this has happened before, explaining her lack of surprise. But regardless, what happens next is even more puzzling.
Alright, let's see if it'll do it one more time, maybe. Put your flashlight up. Alright, let's go inside. Let's go inside. Let's go inside. Alright, here's the upstairs. I just want to show you guys. No one behind the door. Here's my daughter's room. It's a little messy, I'm sorry, but just to show you. Here's the closet. I just want to show you there's nobody behind. Nobody in the closet. Here's the window right over here. Nobody. Not a single person.
The mother checks the room and shows that no one is there, even before entering the space. She seems certain that no one is upstairs, as if she's encountered this situation before. It's safe to say that viewers find this all very strange. If no one was inside the room, how were the blinds moving? And why did they close every time the window was shined upon? With no further information or updates on this mysterious occurrence, it seems we may never know exactly what was happening in this video. But as always, you can make your own judgment about what was captured in this footage. Two pals are having fun in a house when they film something quite spooky on their camera. One friend seems to be taking on an online challenge while the other records it. But what unfolds shortly after really scares them both. Watch closely.
Right, do it again because I'm filming this time. No, go on. Right, yeah. How many you got left?
Only two left.
Right, well, yeah, just do two then.
Oh yeah, this is Louis Mendoza and Drink Well, so that I was specialized. There's only two, so
It's fizzy, it should work. Working?
no.
You should go on, give it a bit. Give it a bit. What's it?
No. What? So,
Dude.
What?
Dude,
What?
look.
What?
Look. Oh, let me out.
They hear a strange rattling noise coming from the other room, and then the door opens, and things start falling on their own. We don't know much about the video, so it's tough to tell if it's real or not. But one thing's for sure, their reaction seems real. Kathy captured something, whether it's paranormal or not. If your baby starts behaving strangely like this, it might be a sign that something unusual is happening. A woman shared a troubling video captured by her Ring camera, showing a strange incident when her baby was alone in the house. As the baby was alone, the woman began to hear footsteps from the living room. While her baby was staring at something or someone in another room, something eerie occurred. It seemed like a child's voice coming from the living room. She was shocked by what she heard and tried to ignore it. However, things took a more unsettling turn when her backdoor motion detector suddenly activated. This made her realize that something was definitely not right. Afterward, she searched her entire house but couldn't find anyone. Could it be that her baby could see something or someone she couldn't? Or was it something else entirely? The mystery remains. This unusual video, shot on a mountain in 2011, captures a family on a hike when they notice something peculiar at the mountain's summit. They see a big fuzzy shape in the distance and initially believe it's a person until they see its long arms. After some time, it vanishes into the distance, leaving the family bewildered. We still don't know what it truly was, but it's certainly not something typical. What do you think it could have been? Newly released surveillance footage has unveiled the harrowing escape of Eli Villalobos, a 28-year-old murder suspect from a courthouse in Oregon. The video captures the moment when Villalobos managed to free his hands and legs from shackles just before he was set to face trial on serious charges, including second-degree murder for the killing of 33-year-old Artemio Guzman Olvera in 2021. Following his escape, a frantic 2-hour manhunt unfolded as law enforcement officers desperately searched for Villalobos. Eventually, he was discovered hiding under a blanket inside a closet in an apartment. Thanks to a vigilant caller who reported suspicious activity involving a man trying to break into a nearby unit, the authorities successfully apprehended Villalobos and took him back into custody. Subsequently, he faced even more legal consequences as he was indicted on 2 additional counts of first-degree burglary, in addition to a charge of second-degree escape. The situation was deeply troubling and concerning for all involved.